All right, welcome to the Laser Sports Academy, everybody. We're very lucky to have our international team that are here for the 2023 Zeltac tournament here in Hobart, Majestic 5. Welcome along, guys. So good to have you here.
Thank you.
All right, so I'm just quickly going to introduce everybody. We've got Invalid, we've got Noob, we've got Moomin, Jay Hong, Bambi, and Buckshot. So just before we speak to you guys individually, so you can tell us a little bit about yourselves, can somebody share with us a little bit about how the team came together?
Yeah, I could. So we were actually it was announced that it would be H2, and because it's Hobart and we are sort of friendly with the Vikings, I feel like try to do it. So I asked around a little bit which Swedes were interested, and Hamid was on, and then the rest of you guys, and unfortunately we couldn't find a sixth. So then I contacted Invalid, who was happy to join, and that was it. So it's the fact that it's Hobart, it's the fact that it's H2, and that at some point every player should try Australia once at least. It felt like a good opportunity.
Yeah, you guys picked a great year, great arena. The competition's going to be super hot this year, so you've done well. And some of you guys have played together before in previous comps. So who's played together before, and who's kind of joining the combo?
I have played with all of them. That's all.
Have you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I play with everyone here except Invalid.
Yeah. But you guys are on Fadekin, right?
Vedekin would be me, Felix.
Jay-Hong and Blondie.
Yep.
Yeah. But you've played with everybody at some point in
Yeah.
time. All right. So let's go around and find out a little bit about you guys. Buckshot, why don't we start with you? Where are you from? And tell us a bit about your background.
Yeah, of course. I'm Buckshot, also known as Marcus, and I played since 2019, late 2019. Live in Gothenburg and love the sport ever since I started. I got introduced to laser tag by a friend who is not playing anymore, but I mean the sport, I love it a lot. Yeah.
And what are your strengths? And what kind of roles do you like to play in there?
I mean, it depends on the format of the game, but I usually play like brawler, like pushing and destroying bases. But it's quite hard here because I'm not used to without stuns. But so now I play mostly defense. So, but brawler is usually what I play.
Yeah. And is there something in particular you're looking forward to with the comp?
Yeah, like. Wait, 1 second. I'm looking forward to just playing with this team. Like I like all these guys. We have all these few free days. We have only played we have started to connect a lot more only by 3 days. So I think if we give it 2 more training days, we will succeed in our works. So I think that's the best part about this.
Yeah.
Playing with these guys.
I think everybody's curious about that, right? We've had teams that are very much mixed teams, Blue Eagles that came was very much a mixed team.
Yeah.
Then we had the other end of the spectrum where we had the GP guys that played together forever and super high level team, won worlds, the whole lot. And you guys are somewhere in the middle, right? You've played a bit together, not as much as GP, and I think everybody's kind of curious, okay, how are you guys going to fare? So awesome, man. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, it's your turn, Bam. You have to talk now.
Okay, my name is Hamid, alias Bambi, and I'm from Gothenburg, and I played since '97, and I've been playing with Moomin since this.
From the good era.
Yeah, and
Good old days.
I love to compete,
Yeah.
and I'm more all-round player. I can play anywhere.
Well, I've played against you. I already know some of your strengths. What can you share for the audience about how you play, what your strengths are?
My strengths are that I'm fast, I'm good at dodging,
Can vouch for that.
but here is the trouble that there is no stuns.
Yeah.
So there is many doubles all the time, but I'm adapting very good. I'm getting into it.
Yeah. I look forward to probing a bit more later in the interview about how you guys.
Yeah, but
feel with that
I'm
thing.
curious about the solo and the LOR. See how that goes.
Yeah. Cool. Are you looking forward to something in the comp?
In the comp, no.
It's all
We
shit.
can't,
Win an award.
we can't train so much comp
Yeah.
in Gothenburg because we have not so many players.
Yeah.
So that's the difference
Yeah.
between teams.
And for everybody at home, Gothenburg's in Sweden, and it's actually. Please correct me. Is it pronounced Göteborg?
Göteborg.
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 There you go.
Yeah. So that's my very poor attempt at trying.
It's like you try it every now and then. It's just that the G is pronounced J. Otherwise you're good. Yeah, there you go.
Beautiful. Such a
My man.
lovely sounding word. I feel very cultured when I say it. All right, Moomin, your turn, brother.
All right. So I'm Andreas, nickname Moomy, and I started playing in '95, V4, and I joined Team Fedakin. When was that? 2004, I think.
Yeah.
I was late. Yeah, you joined earlier, and. Well, usually play defense now that I'm old. I used to play attack, and my strengths are that I duel, and it's interesting because since you don't have the trigger delay, duels here are very different. Some people say you don't duel, you do, but it's a really weird kind of numbers game, doubles duels.
Tell us more about that.
No, it feels like when you duel, people are sort of in for the double. Not all of them. Like I played Spider, he doesn't do that. But I played like the other 30 players I played. When you duel, it's more that it's like a double to enable your second guy to make a move. So there's never an intention of actually winning the duel. People will just like, yep, okay, double. Now you're free. Let's go. Yeah, it's a little bit like that, yeah. So I'll see. So we're trying to say that a double is a loss, and see if we can work from that. But it's interesting.
I try to win my duels, I just can't.
Yeah, it's really hard, right? Yeah, it is.
Yeah. And you're now playing in defence. Anything you're looking forward to in the comp?
Yeah, not to get hit in the face.
We're all looking forward to that.
Yeah, I try to watch Run play. Like he doesn't get hit in the face,
Doesn't he?
No, it's not fair.
Yeah.
But it's like Queensland and the high posture and Helios Pro. So for you guys, it's like opposite of going to Queensland. But yeah, there is apparently some sort of legit technique. There are illegit techniques, but some sort of legit technique that I see some players using, and they don't get hit in the face. So I'm gonna learn it.
Please tell us when you find it.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, Moomin. Jae Hong, your turn, brother.
Yeah, I am Felix, or Jae Hong. I've played since 2016. Guess the first time I played with the Fedekin guys was at Celtic 2018, but I didn't really play that much. I was just there as the 7th player, so I ended up in the commentating room, if anyone remembers me from there. I don't know, I don't really know my strength, I just know my weakness is that I'm slow. I am very slow, I don't move a lot, but so I just made my entire playstyle just around not moving, which isn't translating at all in here. Because here I have to run around a lot. But yeah, I just made my playstyle fit the training, like training nights where I don't want to move too much because I don't want to injure myself.
I think they invented this arena for definitely having to move at all times.
Oh yeah.
So runs probably, yeah.
Yeah, it's runs doing.
Yeah, I don't know. I started playing with the Fedekin guys for real in 2020, I guess.
Yeah.
And then we played in Sweden then. And then that was during the COVID times, so there's not a lot of teams.
Other than finding the spot where you don't have to move, is there anything else you're looking forward to?
Well, he said not getting hit in the face, sir. I am looking forward to not getting hit in the face. It feels like I've already been dangerously close multiple times already because players just running everywhere and don't care for you here. So I'm just scared that my glasses are gonna break.
Yeah.
Because without them I'm blind. So
they got the spider treatment.
And the walls are very dark as well, so it's very easy to
Yeah,
your face just on an inanimate object.
Yeah, the first day I was here, I was I'm gonna start ramping up my speed a little bit, so I don't just walk around everywhere. The first thing I literally did was outside of green, I just stood there on the side furthest away from the entrance. I just stood there and then turned right into a wall. So I was like, no, I will just take it easy now. Actually, I will just take it easy today before I learn everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I've got a big snog. You know that pillar right outside green? Yeah, that was my head went into that yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
For me, it wasn't that. It was just a wall. So it was just the knee and my foot just went in.
All right, they're going to have the ambulance on speed dial at this
Yep.
national.
Oh, yeah.
We saw the hospital was fairly
Just,
close.
just carry people down there. We'll fill up the emergency ward.
I'm not gonna carry these guys.
All right, Noob, your turn, brother. Tell us about yourself.
Yeah, I'm William, known as Noob, captain of the Savants team. I'm from Stockholm, so I'm not from the area these guys are from. What I'm known for, I'm a trickster. I don't really do anything good. I'm just running around and annoying everyone in the arena.
That'll work here. That's
yeah,
fine.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really know what I expected by this tournament. I want to shoot all the Aussies. That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Well, we have plenty of opportunity, mate. We play somewhere around 350,000 games during the Celtac tournament.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll have a chance to shoot everybody. You might shoot runt once or twice as well. Great. Mr. Invalid, your turn, brother.
Hey, name's Jason Elias, also known as Invalid, the alias name. I've been playing laser tag since 1998, give or take, but I didn't really get into the competitive scene until maybe about like 2002. In terms of play style, for quite a while it was on the defense side, but that's kind of transitioned actually within like the last like 6 months to a much more offensive style where I guess you can say rather than in defense like playing the support role or trying to like make space for my team that way, it's kind of the opposite now. It's kind of more like I'm much more as like the person that actually gets us into the base or like starts like the opener for it, and then from there we snowball in.
We call that guy a base cracker.
Base cracker, yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
I do think, well, weakness-wise, I think is also a strength is that I find myself kind of improvising a lot. It's kind of hard to describe. I find myself in a lot of situations where it's, especially with a game like this where there's always 3 teams, like there's just such a constant change in like the atmosphere of like what to do then and there. And because no two people are ever going to think the same, I find myself trying to think of what my team would react to or, you know, what people are going to do at the same time and put myself in a spot that is going to essentially help, you know, benefit us for the, you know, for the greater good. But it's also a weakness because a lot of times that, you know, blows up in your face and then it just all falls apart. So it's kind of a double-edged thing.
I think this is possibly the most dynamic arena we've had for as long as I can remember. Adelaide was a bit like this as well, but a lot of all the individuals on the team making a lot of decisions in the moment based upon what's showing up in front of them. So
yeah, especially this arena, I really feel like it really does come in handy though. There being 2 reloads and the way the layout of the bases are, I mean, I'm still trying to learn the arena. I've only had 3 hours in, unfortunately, so I mean that'll probably change, but. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of situations where like there's just small opportunities that if you see them, you have to just take them, and then from there you find a lot of openings or ways to kind of help your team out.
Yeah, totally. And what are you looking forward to, bros?
Honestly, I'm here to have a good time. I wouldn't be here otherwise. His story is simple, but there's a lot of back and forth with it. But you know, I have no regrets. I wanted to be here no matter what. I wanted to, and I had to do a lot back home to kind of make that happen. It's Helios 2 as well. It's definitely by far my best system. I have a lot of experience on it back home. I'm hoping that, you know, to some degree it makes some kind of influence. You know, I can learn some things from the players here. People maybe learn some things here from us in the States. It's up in the air. LOR is going to be interesting. I think same thing. Helios 2 with LOR I think will be it's going to play a lot better, I think, compared to Helios Pro. Helios Pro is...
Yes.
Yeah.
it sucks.
Dungeon's back, baby.
Yeah. Helios 2 is much better for LOR. With no trigger lockout, I'm not too sure about that, but that's another discussion, really. I still think it's playable. Even with the trigger lockout being on 0, there's still, you know, you can still brawl and dodge. I've had good success with it so far.
Cool. Well, we're super honoured to have you guys here. We're like, the whole country's like just so stoked that you guys have come across, so thank you so much. And you guys have done 10 hours of training so far. I know it's still early, but what can you tell us about? This is your first taste of what the meta or how the game kind of flows compared to what you're used to in Europe. What can you share with us about the comparison so far?
We have played some like low tier teams. We have played a few that's more upper tier, and that's mainly Rampage and the Dragons, I think, and Hobart Vikings. They joined us for a short while. It was only a few games, but meta wise, like the Dragons have their own meta. Like we don't have that back home.
Yeah.
They do a lot of the. We do have the crash base. We call it a crash base. Like when your base goes down, your full team sort of commits to getting like one of the bases with the full team, and then quickly coming back before the base reactivates. And that's what they do. They do it in such excess, I would say like maybe Rampage would be like more of a like how Australians play, and it's sort of similar, sort of. Like I think the difference is that you don't like the attackers. They don't get dug in as much as in Europe, since we don't have reloads, which means that you don't have to like pull back and try to sink in the same way. Your teammates will always be up there with you, so you can spend more time and do more attempts. Here, people, what I noticed at least, is that people will come more in waves, and then retract, come back, which is very effective. I think it's harder to defend against that.
And particularly in this arena where it's very rare where you would take a base and then you would lock it down and wait for your second attacker to get it. It pretty much never happens. You don't have, there's too many people cycling in and out of the base, like people are recracking the base so constantly that you don't really have that opportunity. So the rocking up in waves seems to be a natural kind of progression from that as well, I think. Yeah. And what about kind of tactically around the arena? So you've got two people versus two people just in a little confined area. How does that differ from what you guys are used to? Is it similar?
No.
That's fair.
Just straight up no.
Not at all. Where do I start?
No, because there is like in Europe, at least, if you end up in a small confinement, the best duelist will remain, and the others would leave and try to get like a run up and kill or something, because we give the advantage to the active player.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have like people standing around dying like that.
Yes.
Here you can sort of like, I wake up, I get 150, you get 150, we call it a day, right?
Yeah.
So no, you wouldn't have it. Like, it's more stacked here. People are more like, at times, I'm not saying like you all stand around, but it happens like there's like loads of people there, and everyone seems so short. They will get a kill when they wake up. So it's a sort of different viewpoint. Wouldn't happen in Europe in that sense. Yeah.
Definitely would not happen in the States.
No, it doesn't work like that, because the guy who's alive will just kill everyone. You know?
Yes. Yeah. So how do you think you guys are adapting quicker or slower than what you thought before you came?
Quite quick. First day was crappy. I didn't get anything.
Yeah.
Day one was not easy,
No.
but in the second day we like got a hang of it a bit. But we have still some few things to shape. But as of right now, I think we are ahead of what we thought we would be.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
It's getting better.
It felt like that today. Like it's like I said, it's my first day here, like for training, but
yeah,
I definitely saw like a lot, especially after our meeting. There was a lot there that I thought was really productive.
yeah.
What do you think will be the hardest thing to adapt to of all the different skills that you guys have got to pick up? What do you think will be the hardest thing?
Two shots a second.
Yeah,
Muscle
2
memory
shots.
I think is
Yeah.
difficult.
Yeah.
And reloads.
No, yeah, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, well,
Reloads
some of
is-
you guys have played with reloads. I never played with it.
Me
Reloads
either,
is fun.
but reloads, I guess, I find reloads easier than 2 shots a second, because every time I like take a duel and we both miss each other, like the first shot, I am repositioning myself, and then they shoot me. Like when I'm
I do
repositioning
that.
my
Oh,
shot,
yeah.
and then they shoot me, and I was like, oh yeah,
You
it's 2
can pull
shots a
the
second.
trigger
Oh
again,
yeah.
I know.
And I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
And how does the reloads change the way you guys need to play compared to home?
It feels like you can't, like you, like as we said with like the base crash, like there's a tactic that has been used, a tactics which has been used, which is like you just go from one base to the other, but you can't do that because you would have to you have to step back and reload all the time, so it like slows the game down a lot. And you can't like grind yourself into the base like you would probably do back in Europe.
Yeah, and there's also the fact that if you're attacking a defender, you can sort of try to drain their lives, so they will like lose a guy or two for reload and then go for the actual base crack. Which we don't get back home.
Those are like those openings, basically.
Yeah.
There's a lot of openings like that with the reloads, which I think are good. It allows it so you can actually eventually, get some benefit if you're just kind of having a stalemate with them. So eventually someone has to step away.
Yeah, it creates enough X factor to open the game up, so that it doesn't become too static.
Yeah.
You'll definitely notice there's a meta that happens against teams that are higher on the ladder, but also equally matched on skill. Where and because it's a 12-minute game, we've got so much time in the game. That first 2 or 3 minutes will be pretty. Everybody's just trying to take field points at that point. They're not really necessarily going for a base destroy. And in that time, the aim is to try and wear the opposition's lives down, so that after a minute or two, people are starting to reload. That's when you start to go more aggressive. So you'll notice that happens a lot in games. You'll be watching the stream and it's like, it's the opening stanza where nothing happens for 2 or 3 minutes, and then suddenly somebody will crack a base, and then other teams will be behind, and they'll have to catch up. And it's just a thing you see all the time in our game. Is there anything you guys will think that you'll bring from your own game to our format that we haven't seen before? Or is there any style? Four fingers?
No.
What are those things? Tell us about them.
So in the States, since there's a lot of Helios 2 gameplay, the biggest issue is the cable, because the way it hooks on Helios 2, whereas I guess on Helios Pro, a lot of them are just like buckles. You can just pull like the hinge and pop it out and just pop back in. We don't want to knot the cables, so a lot of people were just trying to like wrap it around their hand. It's just uncomfortable. And if you left it alone, you try to flip, you'll like hit it and get a rough play. It happens a lot in the States. I got the idea a long time ago to start using hair ties. So I actually use a hair tie on Helios 2 phasers and just literally just tie it up like this. No more problems. Works perfectly fine. I don't know if Moomin exactly got that from the States, but I know
I did actually.
Yeah. A lot of people adopted just what I randomly decided to come up with one day because it works really well. It's just comfortable. So everyone just has a hair tie on the wrist now.
Do you have any spare hair ties?
I have tons, yeah.
I'm trying to
I'm being serious. I promise you, try it out. You will not regret it. It makes a big difference on Helios too.
My business partner's a technician, and he's constantly complaining about how the knots get in the things.
And that was the solution for it, because I felt bad knotting, like people were doing it everywhere.
Yeah.
It happens all the time, and then you can't get it out.
Yeah.
So basically, you just take the strap and you just fold it together, so it's like a little cube, and then you just wrap this around it.
And it doesn't come undone or anything. Works perfect.
Yeah. Beautiful. Well, there we go, everybody. We've got a new thing to add to our game. There'll be hair ties. Hair ties are going to sell out in Hobart. There's going to be a run on them.
I can sell
Put them
mine.
on the front counter, just sell them.
If you're in the hair tie business in Hobart, you want to put your prices up over there a few times.
I can sell you hair ties. I have, I think, 100 pack. You can get one hair tie for $5.
Oh damn!
Yeah. Branded, Swedish branded.
No, there's like this.
Made in China.
Made by me.
So what do you guys think of the arena so far?
I think it's really
I
good.
like it. It's good.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I agree. It's really good. I just am really lost still. It's kind of weird seeing only 2 reloads, but I'm not sure that's common in Australia. Is it normally 3?
Usually 3.
Yeah, so 2 reloads is kind of throwing me off a little bit. That's like my only complaint, but otherwise the arena feels pretty nice, minus blue base.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But I will say that it's like the attack route between green and blue and green and red is like it's pretty fair. And it's like same distance for everyone. But then you have between red and blue, like this it's like a desert in between.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah.
And that's why it would be really cool if red and blue had the same dynamic as on the other side of the ring. But unfortunately it doesn't. Like I'm not sure how to fix that. It's too late now.
Yeah, you have to if you want to communicate to your team, you've got to send a carrier pigeon back to your base.
Exactly.
Guys, we're over here. And of course the elevator in the middle. I think that's unique to all of us.
Oh yeah.
It's very
The fact that
bizarre.
You've got a block missing from the whole.
I didn't understand that originally when I saw the map, and I wasn't understanding why there was like a no play zone in the middle until I realized, it's just a whole elevator in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that until we got here and we
Yeah.
got up the elevator and the doors open and we just
In
like
the arena.
play in the arena.
Yeah.
it was
People start pouring
it was
out.
plays happening at the same time as we. As
Yeah,
we
people
got
were
up.
playing when we just
Yeah, we
first
were
got
in
there.
training and we were like, what?
Yeah.
It was like, yeah, so, and then I looked at the map and I was like, oh, that's what that
Yeah,
is.
I read it as elevated.
Oh.
If it was
Yeah,
like
so
a
it was
tower
like,
in the
yeah,
middle.
it's probably you can watch when you're not
Yeah.
playing. Like, no, you cannot. It's an elevator.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you could watch if you could keep the doors open.
Yeah, we just to dim the lights. I think it's a bit annoying. That's a bit
Yeah.
annoying actually.
Yeah,
when
the
people
light.
come
Oh,
in.
yeah, when the door was open, it was kind of distracting.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And you guys were predicted 13th on the stream. Early indications. Do you think that's a fair indication? A fair indication of where you guys will be, or what do you think? Do you think you can push higher than that?
It's hard when you haven't played all the 30 teams.
Yeah.
We have played a few. We haven't played no Queensland teams. We have played one New Zealand team, a bunch of WA teams, the home teams, and the ever-present Spider.
Yeah.
Apparently
Yeah.
lives at
He lives at the zone.
Yeah.
They're always. But yeah, so it's hard to say. Like from those, I feel like we have a crack at most of the team. Not the Vikings. Spider's gonna be really hard. We really have to evolve as a team to beat Rampage at the moment. Otherwise, it feels good.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, I mean, Rampage are a great indicator of the team pushing that top tier. So if you're, they're a
We
good
can beat
measure.
them.
A bit,
It
yeah.
could be, yeah.
They won like 12 games. We won 2, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Wasn't that like also the first day where we couldn't do anything?
Yeah, first day.
The first day we just lost every game.
Yeah, we lost it.
Except one, which we somehow won.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
But this is for first time with 2 shot per second.
2 shots per second.
Reload,
Yeah.
nose down.
No
Yeah.
stuff.
So
You win or you learn, right? That's-
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
And Helios 2 as well, actually.
Yeah.
I haven't played Helios. We have one Helios 2 in the entirety of Sweden, and that's not that's like newly
Really bad.
newly bought. So there's a new site, so they don't have all the settings, so they can't like change anything, so we can't play it competitively. But they invited us to come there and like test it and see. But that's the only time I've ever played Helios 2. So I took a while before I like got the hang of the like the barrel.
I would
sensor.
I would say that Helios 2 gives an advantage to anyone who's good on B5. Because people say
I
it's
love
like
it.
Nexus. Like
Yeah.
I can
Yeah,
understand
it's-
why they say that.
Pro
But
is shit.
That's a
I hate Pro.
Shots fired.
That's a laser tag sound later.
Yeah.
Nexus is better.
We've just lost our sponsorship by PNC
I do agree with it.
It's fine. You
though.
can have this
Um,
one.
like growing up, like playing laser tag, like V4, V5, Nexus era was a lot better for me, and then Helios Pro was just rough. It was a rough time, and it was like that for years. Helios 2 came out, and if it really gave like the same like kind of vibes of like the Nexus Gen V5 era.
yeah.
The way it plays, the way it feels, and you know, even brawling and dodging on it, there's a lot you can do with it, and it's good. Even on this system, I do personally think the barrel and the sensor helps, especially if you're not familiar with the Australian format, because I could never shoot anybody here on Helios Pro. I could not do it. But with those barrels, it makes a huge difference. It's a lot easier and it's a lot better in terms of like actually trying to push into a base with the players here.
Yeah, and it'd be great, such a great leveler too, because pretty much nobody in Australia except for Tassie have Helios too. So
Oh.
yeah, so like, all the Queensland teams and all the top tier teams in the top 10, most of them haven't played Helios too. So
Is there
they're
a
going to
reason
be
for
learning.
that
We're learning as
in
well.
particular?
Upgraded yet. So yeah, and I think Helios Pro. There's a lot more Helios Pro lovers in Australia, but I think Helios Pro probably transfers to our format much better than
Yes,
it does to the European
I think
format.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people love what they know, right?
Yeah. And so, what do you like the most, and what do you dislike the most so far about the format?
The format, I like the reloads most. Because that makes sense with the whole settings you got. You need the reloads. I don't like the fact that you don't have hurry ups. It still bothers me.
Explain what hurry ups are. For
It's a countdown. So it calls when it's 5 minutes left, 2 minutes left, 1 minute left, and then it counts down from 10 before the game ends. So you don't get time denied. Because in the phaser you still have the time, but it's like rough figures, and it would be such a weird like imagine like a System D game and you get time denied because you can't count to 720 or whatever it is. Like it's weird. Like there should be some sort of fail safe for that because it has nothing to do with skill, in my opinion.
I'd like to see it just the 10-9-8 for me, just to stop the time deny.
Yeah. That's the part I want. Like, but you get it all in the process.
Anybody else got anything that they?
2 shots a second.
You like it?
No. I mean,
Oh.
I can see how it's fun, but I also see it like, because when you dodge a shot like at home, you can usually punish them by like taking them down. But now you can just shoot again. So it's I like dodging is like super important. But now you can't like dodge kill. You have to dodge and then like shoot immediately while you're dodging.
Yes.
Yeah, you can't hold your shots.
You
Yeah.
have to. Yeah, the
You have
timing
to,
is
like,
very
it-
tight.
And I
very
think
tight
th-
timing.
Yeah, like the thing is that it's implanted in my head, like always like dodge then shoot. Now I have to dodge shoot.
Yeah.
So something I have to work on, and I think some of us have to work on it also.
Yeah.
So,
You
but
can dodge 2 shots. That's a second.
yeah, but that's a lot harder.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah. I think it's both the 2 shots a second and the no stuns for me, because like I started playing in 2016 with these guys, but then before I started just playing like the birthday the kids games, and then in Sweden I think it's like 2.5 shots a second and no stuns and everything like that when you play those games. So I started playing that like half a year earlier, and then after a while, because I was there, I think I was there like at least an hour every day for 5 days a week at least. He knows, he worked. I just came there, I was like 12, I was like coming in. He's like, do you have time? So yeah, and then it just feels like too much like that. And since I started playing like real laser tag, it's like I don't like that format anymore.
Yeah, the stunts are really important for me because it's mind games. I can show you my shoulder, then I shoot it, then I rush you and kill you. So yeah, for me in European format, the stunts are so important. It elevates the game so much. You can use your body in a greater way.
Yeah.
It's much faster, I think.
Yeah. There's a big group of people in Australia who love the European and world's formats, and for me it's like there's just a whole skill set that's missing.
Why don't change it?
Because
It's like turning the Titanic. We're trying to change anything at Zone Laser Tag Australasian Championships. It's such a big competition with so much history and everything. Trying to just make a huge change like that would be quite an effort.
Yeah.
So we used to have covering in our system
We
up
did as
until
well.
2010.
Wait,
And
covering. What is that?
You're allowed to cover your pack.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
That was up until 2010. We removed it, but that seemed like an obvious change. But it was quite a mission. Like, you have to do a lot of conversations and rallying people support and all that kind of thing. So to shift our tournament to it's a huge change. So yeah, there's many players that would vote for it, but there's also it's a lot
But
of folks
is
that
it because they will quit playing, or?
I don't know. It's just a big transition, and I think we've got a lot of volunteer people on the committee who, it's a huge responsibility to change something so significant. It would require a lot of getting support from all the different regions. It'd have to be a really clear yes from a lot of the regions in order to make that change smoothly, I think.
I don't mind
I
it
think,
actually.
I think
I think it's
I was gonna say I actually like the format. The biggest thing is that I think it transitions for players of all experience level to understand how it works. Compared to like what you would see for Worlds, Europe, or US formats. It's simple. It's 2 shots a second. Anywhere you get hit is a deactivation. These are the score values. That is like 4 pages more for like US or European, because there's a lot of extra like small details and things. So it makes it where it's easy to learn. Sure, it's hard to master. Like the way some of these people play here, it's crazy.
I agree.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's also much faster paced. I mean, I no amount of training I could do in the States can train me for how you guys play here, like speed wise. Like it's like being on a different planet. It's rough, but those are things I like actually. I think that really helps benefit like how big your community can grow here as well. I think if everybody's understanding it that easily, they're more inclined to try it out. in the States, as I mean, everyone's aware of it. The States has a pretty small community right now. It's not that big. There's a lot of progress with like Fort Wayne, Indiana. Like Skywalker's making a lot of progress there, and we have like other sites like Philly and then Bailey's, which is my site. But it's kind of hard to really introduce people to that kind of side of things, especially from like a public standpoint. Public play is just 2 shots a second. Everywhere is a deact. If you were like, hey, competitive play is very similar, but the activations are 8 seconds rather than 6, and there's these small rules. I think that transition's easier than trying to explain all these other rules like stuns and stuff. At least for what I've seen in the States and stuff like that. Though. But I love the format. I think it's a great format. It's exhausting as hell. Excuse me. But I've never had a problem with it. I think it's great.
There's we definitely there's a whole bunch of skills that are missing, but there's also a whole bunch of additional skills that we have that doesn't exist on the stuns and 1 shot a second format, which you guys will get to experience over the next 2 weeks. In particular, the ability to I found as my experience. I played a couple of worlds and went to the Sweenats. But the ability for an individual to get into a base and take out multiple opponents because they've got the extra shot per second to do that. Whereas in the international formats, depending on the arena, sometimes it can get you get 3 people inside a base, there is no way that you can easily crack that base. That's just a slight difference that I noticed between the 2 formats. But I like the fact that we have the 2 different varieties. It's like having rugby league and having rugby union, right? They're kind of rugby. They've both got a ball, but they play differently, and it's a different skill set. But it's been great talking to you guys. And before we finish today, we have an extra special challenge. Thanks to the Vikings guys, we got these guys some Vegemite and some Vegemite shapes. We're going to do the Vegemite challenge today. So you guys up for it?
Sure.
Yeah. Okie dokie guys. So what we're going to do, each grab one of these things.
None of you guys have tried this before?
No.
I have.
Okay.
I
You have?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll miss at least a little. Okay.
So this should go viral on TikTok or Instagram probably, because these reactive videos are all the rage, I've been told.
Why does it look like this?
It's Vegemite.
Yeah, but it's just a blob. It's not. It isn't even filled.
Are you going to lick it?
You don't want to smell it.
I'm going to give you a cracker. Dip it in. Don't put too much on.
It
Put a little bit.
smells strong.
It's Vegemite.
We might as well do a big simultaneous, everybody dips and eats at the same time, huh?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, alright, grab a cracker, and I'll say ready, set, go, and we're going to all have a crack.
Yeah, it just smells like soy sauce.
Well, I mean, it's not moving. It's solid. I mean, look.
Yeah, these are the cheese ones.
I bet you dare you to do it. Do it.
Alright, guys.
Okay, how much is too much?
And that's up to you.
Probably about
Is that too much or too little?
1/3 of the cracker is the most
one
spicy.
third is
That's
probably.
is the most.
That's
important.
good. That's good. What Andreas has got is probably a good amount. Yeah, that's good.
There we go.
With the whole cracker.
Alright, 1, 2, 3, let's go.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Not too bad.
So it's just
Okay.
wheat.
Okay, now it's
Sorry?
So it's just wheat like this.
It's
What
like,
does on it?
I don't even know what's in there, to be honest.
Wait.
Salt, I know
Hold
salt's
on.
in
What do you
there.
mean
It
by
tastes
that?
like bad soy sauce.
Something like that.
It's like very
Salty.
thick soy sauce.
Yeah,
It's
salty.
really
I mean-
salty. If you like eat it directly, it's so salty.
It reminds me a little bit about Swedish candy,
Yeah, sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
but without the sugar.
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez.
Yeah, we have it on our toast every morning. We just do. No.
And it contains vitamin B.
Jesus.
No, yes,
So
see?
that's how they sell it. That's
Yeah,
how
we're
they-
also
oh, yeah, it's
healthy.
good for you.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so salty when you just.
It was
Yeah,
actually
if you
not
just
that
if you
bad.
just lick it, yeah.
Yeah, I just took a quick lick.
Oh, there we go.
Wait, did you
Not
just lick
that
it?
bad.
Yeah.
That's
No,
not a
yeah.
bad response.
No,
No,
it
it
was
was
okay,
actually
yeah.
pretty
It's
good.
so salty.
Alrighty, guys. Well, thanks so much for jumping on today. We hope you have an awesome competition. It's been an absolute pleasure spending some time with you today. And get around them, everybody. Let's support them, provide them as much loving as you can, and we hope to see you up the top at the end of the week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
I appreciate it.